Hey Gemini, welcome to your 2022 12-month forecast. This is going to be for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to connect in and we're going to see what messages are coming up for you in the new year ahead. I am also offering private 12-month forecasts, so if you want to have a personal 12-month forecast done, that is available on calendly.com/amethystangelite. We're going to schedule here. Not schedule, I'm sorry. We're going to connect here and see what's coming up for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So January, please, January 2022 for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. January 2022. And we have 7 of Cups. Okay, so Gemini, you might be coming into 2022. I don't know if scattered is the right word, but more kind of like you're trying to rein in all of your thoughts, all of your ideas. You might kind of be all over the place as far as what you're wanting to do or what you're wanting to focus on. I do feel that for a good portion of you Geminis, you had a plan or you had an idea, but I feel something is happening in December or just before the new year where you're like, oh, it's not going to work out. So maybe it's like you had plans that you were going to go work at a certain place, or you were going to move into a certain place, or some of you maybe thought there was going to be a proposal or something underneath the Christmas tree, and it may not have happened. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but it may not have happened like when you thought it was going to happen. So now you're like, oh, okay, well, that kind of alters my plans. Now I got to figure out what I want to focus on, or where I'm putting my time, where I'm putting my energy. 7 of Cups can also be where we feel a little bit overwhelmed by the choices and the options. And in my experience, a lot of the times we're scared to choose because we're scared we're going to choose the wrong thing. We're not trusting in our judgment. So a really great way of getting out of this is if you are feeling scattered and you're not sure what you want to focus on, what you want to do, write down a list of all of the things that you think might be nice, right? Like I'm interested in this, I'm interested in that, I kind of want to do this, I kind of want to do that. Write it all down on a list. And then one by one, imagine yourself having made that choice or having made that decision. And imagine what your life looks like, what your life is like, how you feel. Pay attention to your feelings as you're visualizing this. Then you're going to know which ones of the options really make you happy. Like make your heart happy, make your spirit happy. Like, oh gosh, that sounds like a great life, you know? And then you can start to do the research. All right, what do I have to do to make this happen? What does it require of me? What do I have to do to get there? Once you do that, you're going to have a very clear-cut plan for your life, maybe even for the next several years, because it's going to be very clear to you which ones of these things you can get started on now. Like, okay, this is doable. I can get started on this now. This other one, oh man, it's great, but it might take me a little bit of time to get there. Maybe I need to come up with more money, or maybe I got to get like a certain certification or something first. And that could be more of like the long-term goal. But you'll have it right in front of you on paper, short-term goals, long-term goals, and then you won't be stuck, right? 7 of Cups for me is a good stuck, right? Sometimes people get stuck because they feel very hopeless. They feel like there's no options. They feel like there's no choices. When we see 7 of Cups, your eyes have opened and you're like, oh my goodness, there's actually a lot of different things I could be doing. There's a lot of choices. There's a lot of doors. There's a lot of options. But now I feel stuck because I don't know which one to go through. I don't know which one to pick. So if you can implement that little exercise, that can really help you in making a decision that you're not going to second guess. You're not going to doubt. You're not going to go into it scared because you've prepared for it, right? And you have a nice little plan. Let's see what's coming up here for February. February 2022 for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. February 2022. I'm waiting for like a good, strong, yeah. It's just a weird way that I shuffle the cards when I'm doing it like this. Every reader has their own little way, but I don't, it needs to like stick out a certain amount before I'm like, yeah, that card wants to come out. Oh, well, looky here, Gemini. Two of Cups. So maybe some of you are upset. Like I said, maybe you were waiting for a proposal underneath the Christmas tree or something, and it didn't happen, but it might be coming in for Valentine's Day. There might be something happening in February in terms of love and romance, or you might be manifesting a significant soulmate, right? Two of Cups is going to be, in my readings, it's like giver meets giver. So say you're like, oh no, Amethyst, I'm already, happily married for 30 years and I'm not going to have a new person coming in. Or I'm happily single for 30 years and I don't want anybody, right? Whatever the case might be, Two of Cups is going to be harmonious interactions with people, genuine, sincere interactions with people, people who have your back, people who care about you, people who are going to be dealing with you fairly, people who are going to be equally invested in the friendship, romance, partnership, relationship, whatever it may be, right? Two of Cups for me is like each person is like, okay, how can I help my person today? Or what can I do today? And you guys are both thinking this way about the other. So these are the kinds of partnerships, relationships, connections that are going to go on forever because both people are feeding the connection. Both people are invested in it. Okay? Now, as I said, this is a general reading. You guys are going to be in different places in your life. But those of you who are looking for love and romance and relationship and partnership, Two of Cups is very good. Okay, and we have it coming up in February. Other ones of you, you're happily single. Two of Cups can be friendships, partnerships, as I said, people who are going to have your back and who are going to be equally invested in, it could be a creative endeavor for some of you. Maybe you have a creative project you're working on. Maybe you've been into like writing music and you're finding someone who's going to do the vocals, or you've been writing poetry and you're finding someone who's putting it to song, or painting, or it could be a creative collaboration for some of you. Okay, let's see what's happening for March 2022 for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. March. All right, here we are. Ooh, Queen of Cups, right? Some of you are like, this is a love reading. It can very well be because we've got cups here. We've got cups here, right? This could very well be a love reading. Or love related, I should say, right? Traditionally, people see Queen of Cups and they think wifey, they think mother. So some of you might be stepping into this role. Some of you might be finding the wifey or mother that you want to have in your life, right? So either you're becoming wifey mother or you're finding the wifey mother that you're looking for. That can definitely be the case for some of you. Now, for me in my readings, one more thing, right? Traditionally, Queen of Cups can be Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. If you have any of those placements, you might be focusing on those areas of your life. You may be dealing with a water sign person. But what I mean to say here in my readings, Queen of Cups comes up when Spirit is trying to let you know that emotional self-care is crucial for you at this time. Okay, Gemini, you guys had a reoccurring theme for a good part of 2021 in the weekly forecasts about a really significant heart chakra opening up, right? And when the heart chakra opens up, we can be overwhelmed with emotion and we can be overwhelmed with feelings. So I already know a lot of you Geminis, and you probably felt it. Let me know in the comments. A lot of you Geminis had your heart chakra blasted open in 2021. I'm going to say for a lot of you, it happened over the summer months. But as we're coming into 2022, whatever is happening for you in March is going to require that you make time for your emotional self-care. This is giving me a sense and a feeling that life is going to be busy for you, busy in a good way. Like there's a lot going on, you've got some irons in the fire, you're seeing progress in your career. You're seeing progress in like whatever you're doing in terms of your financial goals or your goals in getting structure and, order in your life. And so emotional self-care is crucial. Okay. This means that you got to make time to honor your feelings. There are going to be days that maybe you remember things from the past and it makes you kind of sad, or it makes you kind of angry. And you're like, oh, I don't have time to think about that now. I have to be productive. All right, granted, like it might come into your mind the first thing in the morning and you woke up late for work and you got to get to work. I understand that. But you better make sure, Gemini, that you're making time at the end of the day where you can just have your phone turned off, go somewhere and not be disturbed, and deal with that feeling, deal with that memory, whether it's through journaling, writing it out, or letting yourself cry, or letting yourself be angry. Process the feeling, honor the feeling, let yourself feel the emotion until it passes. That's how we release. That's how we release experiences. This is important because if you don't, you're going to start to create blockages again. You're just barely unblocked. You're finally open to receiving. The last thing you want to do is allow old habits to cause you to get blocked up again. When we push down our feelings and ignore them, we create blockages. So anything that you can do to make time to pay attention to your feelings, to feel the feelings, to connect with art, to connect with music, to connect with anything that inspires you, it's going to be a big part of your manifesting and a big part of you staying in a nice high frequency, a nice high vibration. Okay, so make sure you're making time for that emotional self-care. A lot of you might also be increasing in your intuition, your psychic gifts and abilities. This is especially going to apply to anybody who's trying to do a spiritually based business. Maybe you're a Gemini and you're like, oh, you know what? 2022 is the year that I really want to try to take my life coaching or my energy healing or my shaman work or my tarot card readings to where that's all I do, right? I just want to do that full time. I'm telling you from my own experience, my darlings, there is absolutely positively no way that you can succeed in the long term and do it consistently on a regular basis if you're not making time for emotional self-care. Spiritual work can be very draining. It's very rewarding. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful privilege to be able to help people in that capacity, but it will take a lot out of you, especially if you're an empath. So if you're not making time for emotional self-care, there is no possible way that you're going to be able to do it in the long term. You might even find that spirit intervenes and slows down your calendar, slows down your bookings, slows down your scheduling. Because Spirit's saying, no, you're not taking care of yourself. You're about to burn out. We need you to help people. So we're going to kind of put a pause here in business so that you can take some time and deal with your feelings and honor your feelings. So this is going to be especially true if you're doing something where you're trying to help people emotionally or spiritually. You have to fill your own cup first. Okay, let's see. That's January, February, March. Let's see April 2022 for Gemini. Is the King of Swords. All right. So you get into that emotional self-care, and now we come into the beautiful realm of air. That is your domain. This is you, Gemini, right? King of Swords is going to be Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. It's that air sign energy. King of Swords can have a lot to do with negotiating, with sometimes even mediations, or any kind of situation where we're trying to come to an agreement with somebody. For some of you, in April, you might be seeking out legal advice or legal counsel, professional counsel, right? So if you did get that engagement, you might be going to a lawyer, you might be going to an attorney and getting some advice here about, protecting certain assets, or business plans, or you might be coming into a business partnership and you may be finalizing those contracts or agreements, or you may be coming up with liability waivers. If you're dealing with clients and stuff, you might be having a legal expert or lawyer or somebody helping you put together some kind of a waiver that protects you, where people aren't going to come back later and sue you or something. You might be looking at zoning, permits, licenses, filing articles of incorporation, filing an LLC. There could be something you're doing here in terms of making something official and doing it in a way that you're setting yourself up to succeed. I feel some of you are doing something within your home or your apartment where you're turning a part of it into like some kind of a hub. Like you're setting up a little mini shipping station in the corner, or some kind of like office, or some kind of like inventory area. I feel some of you are setting up like a little mini business hub in your home or in your apartment. I don't know why I'm seeing that, but Spirit is showing that to me, and maybe that's meant to be confirmation for somebody out there, but I'm getting that sense or that feeling of like you're taking space in your home or in your apartment, and it's being devoted to some kind of business operation. Okay? King of Swords can also be like improving your communication. So some of you Geminis might be looking into that in 2022. It might be something that you're working on to be a more efficient or more effective communicator, or to take something and be able to approach it logically and not bring your emotions or feelings into it. Now that your heart chakra is nice, wide and open, that Queen of Cups followed by the King of Swords is you're balancing the head and the heart, so that neither one is overly dominant. Okay? March, April. Let's look at May. May 2022 for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. Queen of Pentacles. Wow. We've got like the whole royal crew here. And we have like every element except for the Wands. We'll see if the Wands comes up. Let's change out this. Oh, I thought the candle went out. But there's a little bit of a flame in there. Hold on. All right, that candle's still going. I don't know if you can see it. I don't want it to bit over. Oh, I just put it out when I did that. All right, oh gosh. All right, I'm sorry about that. I'm just a little particular about my amethyst candle being lit. And it was lit. We just couldn't see it because so much daylight is coming in. And then I put it out, so I had to get a new candle going. All right, we've got our little amethyst energy in here. Okay, so Queen of Pentacles, my dears. Now, as I said, now we have all of the elements here, except for the Queen of Wands. She may make an appearance at some point here, or King of Wands. We'll take either, King or Queen. But this back-to-back is really significant to me. To have Queen of Cups, to have King of Swords, to have Queen of Pentacles coming in back-to-back. This is giving me a feeling, in a sense, that you're getting really, really balanced and really, really grounded in the first part of 2022. And this might be a goal that some of you have. And some of you are coming into this balance where, like, you're realizing that you have different aspects of yourself. Anybody who's been struggling with identity, especially. Like, if you're like, I don't know who I am. I don't know how to express myself. Sometimes I feel like I'm a really intellectual person, but sometimes I feel like I have a really fun, wild side. Sometimes I feel like I have a really big heart, but sometimes I feel like I'm a really logical person. And you might be kind of struggling to figure out who you are. And we have all the elements coming in here, and that's telling us you're all of them. You're all of them. You're not a one-dimensional or two-dimensional being. This is especially significant for any of you who've been really focusing on trying to accomplish divine feminine or divine masculine energy. Because the divine feminine, divine masculine, right? It's like the emperor or the empress. The emperor is all the queens in one. I mean, the empress is all the queens in one. The emperor is all the kings in one. It's all of it. So I feel like you're embracing and accepting all these different aspects of yourself. And you're not being like dominant or overly focused on just one. You're embracing all of it. Queen of Pentacles, for me, a lot of the times will come up also to give confirmation that like property is going to be purchased, or there's going to be an improvement or a leveling up in your living circumstance or living situation. Maybe some of you are doing business out of your place and you're manifesting a place where you have a big enough space to where you can keep the business aspect of it a little bit separate, or have its own room, or a little, shed or something in a yard somewhere. But you might be doing something here where you're expanding or acquiring property, purchasing property. Sometimes I see that with the Queen of Pentacles. Overall, this tells us that you're going to have success by staying grounded. We talked about the importance of emotional self-care. Queen of Pentacles for me is focusing the importance of physical self-care. Really, really, really important to have physical self-care. So for me, this is telling me in May, we talked about things being busy. So I feel in May, you might be already in a place where already you're receiving. It's not necessarily about manifesting, but like it's already coming in. And we talked about how to have success long-term. You have to have the emotional self-care. And now to have this abundance coming in long-term, you have to master physical self-care as well as the emotional self-care, right? It's like you're juggling. You've got a couple of the balls going, and now there's one more coming in with the physical self-care. This means, and I don't mean make sure that you're looking all hot and super, attractive. That's not what I mean by physical self-care. I'm sure you're lovely the way you are, Gemini. I'm not telling you to do it in a superficial way, but I mean in terms of really, really taking care of your body. Okay, making sure you're getting good quality sleep, making sure that you're eating and that you're eating balanced foods. Sometimes we get really caught up with, oh, well, this is good for me because it has 0 sugar and no fat and no calories, so this is healthy, I'm going to have this. Meanwhile, it's just you're eating something very processed and it doesn't have nutrients. You need nutrients for your brain to function. You need nutrients for energy. So making sure as much as possible to eat natural foods. Making sure as much as possible that you're creating a sense of sanctuary in your home and with your meals. I've said this before. You might come home after a busy day. You're exhausted. Don't just microwave a hot dog, eat it over the trash can, and then crash into bed, right? Give yourself meals the way you would to a guest or to a significant other. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have anything fancy. But if someone comes over, you're not just going to give them a burnt piece of toast on a paper plate with all these crumbs and say, here you go, and throw it on the table. You're not going to do that with a guest. So don't do that with yourself. Take time. Prepare meals. Present them to yourself in a nice way. Have a morning routine for your morning tea or morning coffee where you're setting the tone for the day. Maybe you have your morning music or meditation, or you have a special little chair you like to sit in and look out the window or listen to the birds or whatever it might be, right? At the end of the day, Have a wind down routine. Maybe you have your nighttime music. Maybe you're into aromatherapy or incense or candles or a nighttime meditation or a nice, hot shower or a bubble bath or something. Lotions and pajamas and bed sheets that feel good on the skin. Anything that you can do to give yourself a sense of luxury with the things that you have available to you. Then you start to realize, wow, I have such an abundant life. I have so many things. I'm so very blessed. And then that attracts even more abundance into your life. This is especially true, Gemini, for any of you that feel stuck in a living situation where you feel like you keep getting pulled back into it. You've left before and then you come back, right? Oh my gosh, I have a roommate again. I didn't want to have a roommate. I was happier living on my own. Or, oh my gosh, I finally got out of my parents' house and now here I am, a grown-ass adult, and I'm back here again, right? It's happening to a lot of people. You're not alone. It's happening to a lot of people. But a lot of it is because we're getting pulled back to process issues, heal, break old cords. And you're going to be able to get out of there once and for all if you can create a sense of sanctuary for yourself in the space that you have. Whether it's a bedroom, even if you're couch surfing, anything that you can do to create a little sense of sanctuary in your space. Okay? We won't focus on that too much. Pray about it, meditate about it. If you have a special circumstance, you can always schedule a private reading and we can go into it more detailed for you. But this creating a sense of sanctuary is especially true if you're in a living arrangement that you're having a really hard time getting out of. And sometimes the best way of creating sanctuary in a crowded space is adjusting your schedule, right? Because you go to your room, you try to be alone, and they're like, Gemini, have you seen my toothbrush? You know what I mean? It's like no matter what you do, there's like interruptions. So sometimes you might adjust your schedule. Maybe you go to bed a little bit early, or you stay up a little later, or you wake up a little bit earlier to have that time for you, to create that zen for you. Okay? Let's look at June 2022 for Gemini. We have 6 of Cups. So especially if you're in a living arrangement that you're having a hard time getting out of, the month of June for you might be a time that you're going over the past. You're remembering the past. You're remembering where the issues formulated, where the resentments formulated, and it's giving you a chance maybe to release that stuff and do some inner child work. If you are someone who is dating or trying to find a partner, or you are you're on the market, there could be somebody from the past resurfacing. We do see that sometimes with the 6 of Cups, right? Somebody coming up from the past, wanting to reconcile, wanting to get together. Now, for some of you, this King of Swords we talked about could be some of you maybe might be going into a divorce in the early part of the year, and maybe you guys are trying to work it out through mediation versus litigation, because the King of Swords can be mediation instead of like a court case where you're like going in front of the judge and trying to have a trial or something. It's like, well, let's try to see if we can talk about it, with our lawyers, with a mediator, and we can come to an agreement on our own. And then we don't have to, go in front of the judge. We don't have to go and have this, full-on trial, right? So if you are going through a divorce where there's something here in terms of mediation, trying to settle it peacefully, I feel that in June, your partner maybe is having a change of heart and wanting to stay together, right? Even if they were the ones that initiated wanting to leave, I feel like they're wanting to come back together. And they might be saying that they're sorry. Or even if you're the one who's leaving, they're like, you know what? I'm finally getting it through my head. I understand I have to do better. I want to do better. So I feel for some of you in the process of mediation, the person is deciding that they don't want to get divorced. Obviously, it's up to you what you're going to do, right? You have a free will decision. Just because someone wants to reconcile with you, it doesn't mean that you're obligated to. And this is a general reading. It's going to be different for different ones of you. But I do feel like this person is sincere. Like they mean it. I kind of feel like somebody has learned their lesson. Even if it's somebody coming back and you're single and they're wanting to reconcile with you, I feel like this person genuinely has learned their lesson. Sadly, though, depending on what your connection is with this person, sometimes we have these karmic things with people where the karma is for us to move on, and then they realize, like they see the light, they realize, and they come back, and the karma is for us to tell them no, because their life lesson is they have to learn that when you have good love, you have to treat it right, that it's possible to lose love. That just because somebody loves you for real and really deep, it doesn't mean that it's going to stay like that. That you can just go do whatever you want to do. And because they love you, they're going to take you back in. Sometimes the karma is that we teach that person, you know what, thank you, but this is too little too late. And so it's a general reading. I can't say that each and every single one of you have to tell this person no, or each and every single one of you have to tell this person yes. It depends on what this connection is here. But I do feel, Gemini, that many of you can expect for people to be resurfacing from the past and wanting another chance with you. This can also be inner child work, healing, releasing the past. This is for a very small percentage of you. Very small percentage of you. I do feel some of you, Gemini, are gonna all of a sudden, through some kind of like ancestry thing, be contacted and find out that you have siblings out there. That you have like half brothers or half sisters out there. And they're reaching out to you. They're finding you. Like, hey, I'm your half brother. I'm your half sister. Would you be interested in meeting? And so for some of you, there might be an unraveling of family secrets. I don't know. For some of you, maybe your dad didn't even know. That happens too, right? Maybe they were in the military and they were traveling, or they were young and doing their thing, and they had no idea. They had no idea that there was somebody out there having their child. But I do feel like there's something here where some of you Geminis are going to be contacted by like this long lost family in June. Let's see here, July 2022 for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We have the Death card. This could be your energy. If you have a Scorpio placement, there could be really big changes and shifts happening for you in that area of your life or in those houses. Some of you could be encountering a Scorpio in July that is going to be really important on your path. Okay? Really important on your path. An important person. It does not have to be romantic. It can be, but it does not have to be. But there may be some kind of important emotional work or creative work or some level of important business that you might be having with a Scorpio. Now, putting that aside, let's keep in mind here that the Death card is a major arcana card. So anytime the major arcana cards come up, we're coming into a significant crossroads in our life. We're coming into a significant turning point. We're coming into a time that there's going to be a lot of changes for us, and that the things that we're dealing with are directly connected with what we came here to learn, what we came here to master. So anytime we're at these big kind of energies, our angels and guides are with us. They're helping us through those transitions. There's no way that we can fail as long as we keep moving forward. The only way we're going to fail is if we give up. Now, if we look at the Death card and the meaning of the Death card can very well be the phoenix rising from the ashes. So there may be a mediation here for some of you. Maybe you are getting divorced and you're starting a whole new life here. Clean slate. Maybe you're having mediation with an employer, ongoing talks and situations. Maybe there was an unfair, being fired or something discriminatory, or an injury case, right? Like a workers' comp case or something. Maybe there's been mediations here happening with an employer. But whatever the case is here, there's some resolution you're coming into, and one chapter of your life is closing. But that's the thing about the Death card. The Death card is about death and rebirth. So even though one thing is ending, it's the beginning of something else. Okay, one thing is ending and it's the beginning of something else. It can be a career change. It can be becoming self-employed and never having to work for anybody else ever again. It could be ego death. And for a lot of you, it's probably going to be ego death. Especially, right? Especially if you are having this surprise come up about, this long lost family, or lost siblings who are finding you. You're like, holy moly, like everything I knew, now I'm questioning it. Like, what is truth, right? So there could be something here where some of you are like, you're forever changing. Your life is forever changing. You may be going through ego death where you're shaking off the conditioning, the labeling. You're getting in touch with the authentic self. This can feel kind of scary. So just a heads up for those of you who will be experiencing ego death in July. In the beginning, you might feel like you don't know if you're depressed. You don't know if you've just gone numb, because it's going to feel like nothing brings you joy. You're just like, nothing brings you joy, because you're going to go to all of your old go-tos. You're going to call your old friends. You're going to watch your old shows, your old music, your old, like whatever you used to do. Maybe have a drink or whatever it might be. Like, it's not bringing me joy. And you're like, do I not enjoy life anymore? It's not that you don't enjoy life anymore. You're realizing that you've been doing a lot of these things because you were taught to do them. Either you're mimicking the behaviors of your parents, or, you were hanging out with those people because, society taught you when you were young that those are cool, successful people, and those are the kinds of people you want to like you. And now you're breaking out of that. You're breaking out of that mind control, that brainwashing, that conditioning. And you're like, I don't like that. I don't like these people. They're boring. I don't like these people. They're negative, or I don't like this song. I don't like this show. It's stupid, right? Like, you start to realize that you don't like these things, but you've been doing them because this is what the world has put in front of you, that this is what you're supposed to like, and this is how you're supposed to be. So even though it might feel scary at first, you will start to realize that, oh, okay, I just have to find what I like. I just have to find who I am. Since you have this balance happening in the beginning part of the year, I feel like this, like finding yourself isn't going to take you very long. I feel you're well on your way. It's like you're having the epiphany and then the switch is happening, okay? But there could be a significant awakening for a lot of you in the month of July. Let's see what's happening in August. August 2022 for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. Ah, look at that. We talked about ego death. And then right there, 8 of Cups. If that's not confirmation, I don't know what is. Okay, so 8 of Cups can definitely be this sense of like, we feel like something is missing in our life, but we don't know what it is. So we kind of go on a quest to find it. The way that it manifests in a lot of people is they start setting big goals. right? So you might feel in July that this is a new beginning, the old life is over, and you'll put a big goal for yourself. You're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go back and I'm going to get my master's degree, or I'm going to start this business, or I'm going to, try to get this promotion, or I'm going to, find my soulmate, or I'm going to have a child, or I'm going to adopt a child, or whatever it might be. You have your eyes set on what you feel is going to bring you fulfillment, and you go out to get it. My experience, 8 of Cups comes up a lot of the times for people who are kind of overachievers in this way. 8 of Cups tells me whatever you're setting out to do, you're going to accomplish it. It's going to happen for you. You're going to get it, right? So if you're trying to start a business, that's going to be successful. Trying to make a career change, trying to manifest the relationship of your dreams, have a family, whatever it is, you're going to manifest it. It's going to happen. But this is the trap that occurs. As I said, I see it come up for these overachievers. You set this goal, you reach it, you're happy for a little while, and then you're like, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I have this. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm happy that I have it. But it didn't make me feel the way I thought it was going to make me feel. So maybe I focused on the wrong thing here, right? Maybe this isn't what I was supposed to do with my life. And maybe I'm going to be happier, right, if I, move houses. Maybe I'm going to be happier if I, do a different business. Maybe I'm going to be happier if I focus on my career instead of my personal life. And we're constantly setting another goal. And happiness constantly becomes the next thing. I'll be happier when I do this. I'll be fulfilled when I do this. And you're happy for a little bit, and then you lose the joy again, and then you're setting another goal. And so the way out of that cycle, 8 of Cups is saying that the missing piece is the spiritual connection. If you can make your spiritual connection and have a nice, solid, strong spiritual connection and relationship with your higher power, with God, with universe, you're going to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You're going to feel full. You're going to feel satisfied. And some of you might say, oh, well, Amethyst, that's easy because I already have a spiritual routine. I already have a spiritual practice. I do my yoga every day. I get up in the morning. I do my morning prayers. I read my Bible. I read my mantras. I do my meditations. I light my candles, my incense. I have my crystals. You might have a spiritual routine. But that's just the thing, routine. Sometimes it becomes routine where it begins to lose its meaning. It begins to lose its power. If I tell you 5 times a day, every single day, that I love you and you're the most amazing person I've ever met in my life, that's going to be really great the first few times, maybe for the first few weeks. But after a while, it's like, oh my gosh, you're a broken record. The words begin to lose meaning, because you're hearing it so much, right? It begins to lose its power, its potency. So just like we need to keep our relationships fresh, we need to keep our spiritual connection, our spiritual relationship fresh. So it could be a good time to ask yourself, what are some other ways that you can connect spiritually that are maybe a little bit outside of your routine? Maybe spending time in nature, maybe connecting artistically, creatively through art, through inspiration, right? Maybe spending time in water, with water, right? It can be different for different ones of you. So as you're coming out of this ego death and this new beginning, it's going to be a good idea to visit in the month of August here, your spiritual relationship, your spiritual connection. Freshen it up a bit. Mix it up a bit. All right. Let's see September. September 2022 for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. And we have this 3 of Swords. So 3 of Swords, to me, can be, as I said, you're going on this quest, you're getting what you want, and then you're sad again because it didn't make you feel the way that you thought it was going to make you feel. So we've kind of talked about how to avoid this a little bit. How to prevent this heartache in September. However, for some of you, I feel the Three of Swords is happening as a matter of awakening when you're beginning to see people in a different light. So what do I mean by this? Sometimes the Three of Swords can come up in terms of like betrayal, because we find out somebody has been lying to us or taking advantage of us, things like this, or a truth is revealed. But the feeling that I'm feeling from the Three of Swords for Gemini, it's taking me back to the feeling of awakening I'm feeling with the Death card. And I feel like you're beginning to see through people. You're seeing through, like you're seeing the true colors. And I'm hearing fallen hero. I'm hearing fraudulent authority figure. Fallen hero, fraudulent authority figure. So, I don't know, there could be something happening on a world scheme, like something maybe on the news. Maybe there was a figure or a leader that you had a lot of respect for, or you felt very inspired by. There could be something coming out about that person, and you're like, I don't even know what's real anymore. Like, if this person, I don't know why, I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm not trying to take this lightly, okay? But for some reason, I'm getting like the feeling, or I'm remembering the part from the Dark Knight movies where Harvey Dent became really corrupt. And so like Batman took the fall, and so people thought Batman was evil, but really Harvey Dent was evil. But like this hero like gets exposed, and you're like, what? Like what? Like is it like, if Batman could do that, then I don't know what to believe, right? Like I thought he was on our side. Kind of, I don't know. I just like, for some of you, there could be, obviously it's not going to be Batman literally, but there could be someone that you were putting a lot of faith in to turn things around. The world is crazy right now. Life is crazy right now. Maybe it's not a public figure. Maybe it's like a mentor that you had, or a religious leader in your community or something. But I feel like there's this sense of like, you're not who you presented yourself to be. And I feel like you have this sadness about it, Gemini. You feel sad about it. Like you're looking at this person like you're a sham, you're a fraud, you're a con. And if you're like this, I don't know who to believe anymore. It's like I feel like it's hitting you really hard. You didn't expect this. So the feeling that I'm feeling from the Three of Swords for Gemini is, as you're awakening, there's some lesson coming in that's telling you, do not put your faith in people. Do not put your trust in people. And this is directly connected to your spiritual connection, your spiritual path. So I'll say this to you. Gemini, some of you might be experiencing this fallen hero, this fraudulent authority figure, and it might devastate you. It might really make you feel very crushed. So it's going to be a good idea for you to work on your spiritual connection. Start putting your faith in spirit. Start putting your faith in God, in universe. Start putting your faith in higher power. Because there could be somebody that you're following or guiding as a teacher or authority figure that might really let you down. Okay? Now, I've said this in the past. Three of Swords for me tends to come up where it hurts, it burns, it stings, but it doesn't last very long. And I think for you in this case, it's not going to last very long if you have your hope placed in something higher, something bigger than humans. Okay? Let's look at October. October 2022 for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Knight of Swords. You might be ready to fight. You might be ready to fight. You might be angry. You might be angry by what's being revealed to you. I don't feel the Knight of Swords is somebody coming at you. I feel it's you and it's your anger. Okay? But Spirit is saying be careful. Be careful what you do with that sword. Be careful who you charge towards. Be careful how you direct this anger. I feel that some of you are really wanting change, and you're feeling like how can I say this? I'm getting like a lone wolf or like a rogue energy from this Knight of Swords. So I feel like you might be breaking away from certain belief systems and like making your own decisions, doing your own thing. You're like, you know, feeling like you're not looking direction or approval from anybody else. Some of you might be wanting to confront a person about the way that they presented themselves. Like you might be wanting to confront them about the truth of the situation. But again, Spirit is saying be careful and be cautious. I feel like you would have to go into it knowing that you would just have to take this as an opportunity to speak your piece and to get it off of your chest. Like there might not be an apology or a change. I also feel this is a very specific message. It's not going to be for all of you, but Spirit just told me this. It's not in the cards, but Spirit just told me this. As you're coming into this new beginning and this trusting somebody, there's a financial aspect for some of you. Some of you may have donated money to a cause, and when you're finding it was a fraudulent cause, or like they were doing something else with that money. It wasn't going to what they said it was going to. Or like they're saying that they're going to help you in some way. And so like you're trusting them in terms of investments. I'm hearing that for some of you it's going to be devastating because you see this as like an authority figure, a mentor, somebody trustworthy that like they're going to do something with your money or help you build or create this wealth. And then you're finding out that it was all fraudulent. And so some of you are like, I want my money back. But Spirit is saying you're not going to be able to get the money back. You won't get the money back. It's gone. So don't give it. Don't hand it over. Be very cautious in 2022 of anybody who's taking collections for charity or for donation or like they're telling you that you're going to invest money and they're going to help you get profit or, multiply what you're putting in. Be very careful, Gemini. Be very careful. There's something fraudulent here. Okay? Now, this is a general reading. Some of you might be coming across legitimate opportunities. It's going to be really important that you do your homework. You do your research. Because I feel for some of you, there's a warning here about money. You're going to be let down. You're going to be disappointed. And if you try to go get your money back, it's going to be gone. So be careful and be cautious of that. Let's look at November 2022. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. November 2022. Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups can get a bad rap because a lot of people are used to watching tarot readings for love and romance. And so over the years, Knight of Cups has gotten typecast as like a player, a Don Juan, somebody that you can't take seriously. And don't get me wrong, that can definitely be the case sometimes. But we're looking at all aspects of your life. We're not really talking about love and romance here. For some of you, it could be, in terms of love and romance, that you're finding yourself being pursued, and Spirit is trying to help you learn the lesson that you have a right to be pursued, but just because somebody is giving you gifts or doing something nice for you, you're not obligated to go to bed with them or give them another date or spend hours on the phone listening to them about the same thing over and over again. you can still have boundaries and you can still say thank you, but no, right? You're not obligated to do anything. And some of you are learning that lesson. But the Knight of Cups in general, in a broader sense, is going to be the pursuit of the things that make the heart smile. It's going to be pursuit of the things that fill you with inspiration, that fill you with joy, a sense of adventure, admiring beauty, seeing the beauty that there is around you. And sometimes I see the Knight of Cups come up when people, it's like the first early steps of you opening up to receive financially, right? All of a sudden you start to see beauty around you. You start to see hope and inspiration around you. That's one of the first stages for people who've been blocked financially for a long time. But overall, I just feel the Knight of Cups is coming in to say that it's time for you to be happy. It's time for you to pursue the things that bring beauty into your life, that bring a sense of inspiration into your life, a sense of adventure. I feel like with this Knight of Cups, with the money that's coming in for you in 2022, you're being encouraged to do something that you enjoy. You know, like to treat yourself. This Knight of Cups is giving me a feeling or a sense of like, it's time to treat yourself. And explore and taste and just see what's out there. That's the feeling and the vibe I'm getting from the Knight of Cups for Gemini. Let's see December 2022 for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. It's you. It's you, my darlings. It is you. Okay. Well, again, major arcana, big chapter, big change, big shift. This can definitely be love and romance, right? Relationship, focusing on your love life, significant soulmate. Some of you are going to have options before you choose and settle down towards the end of the year. For those of you that the engagement or marriage isn't happening around Valentine's Day, there could be love coming in for you at the end of the year here. And you're having choices and options. You're choosing between different suitors. Now, the reason why I got happy when I saw the Lover's card is for me in my readings, when I'm reading for somebody and their major arcana card comes up for their sign, it tells me that everything that's happening at that time is directly connected to you coming into your power. You coming into your full power, your full authenticity, living your life 100% as your authentic self. You don't feel bad about it. You don't feel embarrassed about it. You're living your best life. You're falling in love with yourself in a non-narcissistic way. The things you thought were flaws, you actually realize that can be strengths. So it's a very empowering moment. It's a moment of like just awakening and being fully in your power, fully empowered. So you're starting the year off nicely and you're ending the year very strong, very independent, very in control, very clear about who you are and what you want. And I feel that this is a year that a lot of you Geminis are going to be manifesting the perfect relationship for you. You're going to figure out what you need emotionally from somebody, and you're manifesting that. You're having that. You're having that kind of relationship. Now, you may want to check out your moon sign, your rising sign videos. Sometimes that might resonate more than your sun sign. It might add a little extra information that can be helpful. You might need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. Don't forget to check out the weekly forecasts and the monthly love readings on the channel. I thank you all for watching, guys. Have a happy new year. Take care, Gemini.